We have the draft. I know I haven't done no mock drafts. I haven't been talking about it like that, but the draft is here. The draft starts on Thursday, ends on Saturday. And the biggest one thing that you're hearing about this draft is, of course, it's one of the best drafts when we talk about interior linemen, when we talk about tight ends. It's also a draft. How do I say? It's also a swing and a miss draft, especially when we look at the quarterbacks in question. Of course, you have Bryce Young, you have Anthony Richardson, you have C.J. Stroud, and you have Will Levis. Those are the what? One, two, the four. Those are the four quarterbacks that are pretty much in question. And when you're the Carolina Panthers, these decisions can make or break a franchise. I mean, think about it. They drafted Baker Mayfield. The Browns drafted Baker Mayfield with the number one overall pick. The Browns haven't been good since. Now, yes, I know they made the playoffs one time, and of course, we'll see what happened with Deshaun Watson. But these Johnny Manziel was drafted. These decisions are, these decisions make or break a franchise. So if I were the Carolina Panthers, I would probably go with the more proven quarterback and the quarterback that had more success in college. And while I think C.J. Stroud is incredible, I would probably go with Bryce Young. I understand that his size is a question, but I mean, he's been that size forever, and he won a national championship with Alabama. So I would go Bryce Young. I think that the question mark is, do you go with Anthony Richardson, who is a freak athlete, or do you go, or a freak quarterback when we talk about the size and we talk about the build, or do you go with a more proven? Or I think let me say this: the question marks. When we talk about the quarterback position, the question marks is, of course, Anthony Richardson and Will Levis. I don't know. I think Will Levis finished the season or finished his career 17-7. I don't know why there's so much love on Will Levis. I know he has a cannon of an arm, but here's the thing. I understand that there's a combine. I understand that there's a pro day, but what do you put on tape? And I understand that Will Levis hasn't really played with NFL players. Neither has really any Anthony Richardson, but Anthony Richardson looked drastically better than Will Levis when he was with, of course, Florida. And, of course, I think C.J. Stroud's the second best quarterback, arguably first best in this draft. What I will say is none of these quarterbacks excite me. And I don't think, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I definitely would come here and say it. But none of these quarterbacks to me are franchise-changing quarterbacks. I know a lot of people are probably going to wait for next year when Caleb Williams, who looks like he could be a franchise changer, he'll be in the draft. And was it Drake May? But Bryce Young is good. C.J. Stroud's good. Anthony Richardson's good. Will Levis is good. None of them, to me, are franchise-changing quarterbacks. I could be wrong. I think if there was one that could be out of those four, it would be Bryce Young. And number two would probably be C.J. Stroud, but I don't see it. And honestly, if there's a player that I think could fall out of the top or could drastically fall from what their draft stock should be, is probably Jalen Carter. I think Jalen Carter is the best defensive player in this draft. And he could go as high as Seattle with 5, but you hear a lot about the character issues and everything, and then you hear about of course the off the field stuff, and those are red flags. But I think Jalen Carter, let me say this, if Jalen Carter had a spot record, had absolutely no situation going on, had absolutely no problems, I think he could be a top 2 pick. That's how good Jalen Carter is. It's just, a lot of people are talking about the off-the-field incidents and stuff. Another player that I think could fall, that could be the steal of the draft, is Nolan Smith, another Georgia Bulldog. I think when you play alongside Jalen Carter and you have an injury history, that could, or especially in the last year, that could really affect your draft stock. But I think Nolan Smith is one of the best players, or could be a steal of the draft. I think they have them projected going to 20 or 21st or something like that. But I think Nolan Smith. I think Deontay Banks out of Maryland, cornerback, can be really good. And I am interested to see where Bijan Robinson goes. Usually don't see running backs go in the first 2 rounds unless you have like a legit bona fide star like a Saquon Barkley or a Ezekiel Elliott. And I don't know if that is Bijan Robinson or not. So I'm excited to see. I don't know that. Again, to me, this draft is going to be dominated. It's a top-heavy draft, and I do think that when we talk about the tight end position, what are the Packers going to do? Maybe the Jets are going to go for a tight end, possibly. See what Atlanta goes with, because Atlanta has, the second? Atlanta has the 8th overall pick, so they might go defense. We're hearing Tyree Wilson might go to them. I don't know. I am interested. One thing that I don't like, one reason why I don't like mock drafts is because you can never predict a trade. You can never predict a trade, and there's always going to be 1 or 2 of the top teams that pick a player and reach mightily for a player that it just ruins the entire draft. Or not ruins, but shifts the entire draft. So, and I honestly think that could be number 4. And I understand the Colts need a quarterback, and you're hearing Will Levis. And now, again, I don't think Will Levis is the guy. I could be wrong. But think about this. Imagine if, let's say, the Colts at 4. Imagine if you see on draft night that the Colts trade for Lamar Jackson. That drastically changes the entire draft. So I'm excited to see. I do think that Bryce Young will go number 1. And I think that Houston Texans, I'm hearing that they're not going to go with quarterback, but if they do go with a quarterback, I think they're going to go with C.J. Stroud. I don't know why you wouldn't go with a quarterback, but especially when you have all the problems that you have, one of them being the quarterback position, you want to address that one. We'll see. But yeah, that's the draft. I'm excited to see. Again, it's on Thursday, and I want to see what my Washington. Where do they have Washington? They have Washington at the 16th pick. If I was Washington, man, you're not getting no quarterback with the 16th pick. I would probably go with O-line because if you're so committed in Sam Howell, you definitely want to protect him. And last year, the O-line was still a problem. I'd go with O-line, maybe someone from Alabama, since they love picking people from Alabama. Maybe homie from Georgia, Broderick Jones. He's pretty good. Or, well, you don't need nobody else on the defense right now. You just need to focus on the offensive line and maybe go for the tight end. I know Logan Thomas is pretty good, but he's getting up there in age. And maybe get another wide receiver. I don't know. I think that you should focus this draft on offense, especially when we talk about the offensive line. Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.